Listen up, today we're going to talk about the newest addition to my vintage watch collection, and it's going to be a new Rolex Sea-Dweller 1665. I have broken the rules. I had made a rule this year that I said that I was not going to buy myself any more watches. Well, not forever, just for the time being. I have other priorities that I want to focus on, starting with my cars. I think I have enough. And then what happens is a beauty like this shows up on my desk. This is a 1979 Mark III Sea-Dweller. It's what they call the Great White. No red double letters, which I have a double red Sea-Dweller as well, 1974 to be exact. But for some reason, when I saw this watch and I saw the color, that yellow color on the plumes and the hands, I said, whoa. So a gentleman walks in and says, hey, Eric, I got a watch that I think you might like. Walks into my store and says, would you want to buy this watch? I look at it and I swear to God, it was almost like an addict, like, oh, I don't want to see it. I didn't want to see it. And when I grabbed the watch, I said, it's nice. I'm not gonna lie, I was poker facing it. In reality, I just wanted to like freak out, but then the price would rise, let's just be honest. And I sat there and looked at the watch. First thing I realized was how nice the case was. With the vintage watches, case condition is important. It's very important. Everything's freaking important, but the case to me means a lot. I want it to be as thick as possible. So I looked at the case. Case looked great. Looked at the bezel. Bezel was great too. Even though the insert wasn't the strongest point, the metal ring on the outside was nice. Again, that can be replaced, bought with an original one, but it was nice. But the real stunner of the show was the dial. When I looked at that Mark III dial and I saw those hands matching with that sharp yellow, I thought, this is gonna be expensive. So he sits there and he tells me, are you interested in buying this watch? And I told him flat out, I'm not buying any watches right now for myself. He said, well, is this maybe something you want to stock in your inventory? And I said, I've made a lot of commitments this week for other pieces that are coming in, and I don't want to buy another watch for myself. Honestly, I said that, but I said that kind of like bummed out. I really was dying inside. I wanted to buy it. And just when I thought the deal was over, and quite frankly, I just stopped looking at it. Like, I didn't even want to look at the watch. Like, enough. Because the more I looked at it, the more I sell it to myself. He makes the call to offer me and trade it for a Batman Oyster. And when he told me that, I thought, I have a Batman Oyster. I have a Batman Oyster that I haven't worn in a while. I thought maybe this is a loophole into my own rule from this year, which was I'm not buying any more watches for myself. So since he had originally came out the gate with a price of $15,000, I thought to myself, maybe this could possibly work. Considering I've owned my Batman Oyster for 8 years. So yes, I bought it when it was way cheaper, but we still got to evaluate it in today's market. But the reality is that I don't wear the Batman. But I do feel that in a long-term hold, the one that's going to be worth more in the future is this. Or even if they're exactly the same price, meaning I'm not looking to make money on this investment, but the chances are that long-term, I'm going to have my money here over the Batman, because the Batmans, they created way more of them, and not so many of these have survived. So once I really considered this move with the Batman is when I really got the watch and started looking at it with the loop. I looked at it and I said, damn, this watch is perfect. And a couple moments later, the deal was done. And when the deal was done, Keon that works with me sat there and said, hey, are you sure that's a good idea? I can't believe you traded your Batman Oyster for that watch. And I said, look, first of all, I guarantee you I'm going to get another Batman at a great price. They're out there. It's not like this long lost rare watch. This watch is the only one I've ever seen in 15 years selling watches professionally that has landed on my desk in this condition with that look of the dial. I could not let it pass. And once again, I have broken the rules and found a loophole. I didn't buy myself a watch, I traded. So some of the things I did for this watch is I immediately sourced myself a bezel that would fit on this watch nice. If you put a black bezel that's all brand new with no signs of fading or nothing, although it might be nice and correct, I don't like that look. It just looks too nice. I don't know how to explain it. It's not the look I'm going for. I feel that this faded ghosty bezel gives it a good look when it's matched and paired with the yellowing on the dial. I actually overlaid on it like 4 different inserts, and I felt like this was the nicest one. So that's one investment I had to do into there, which wasn't a lot of money, but I feel like that little touch increases the value of the watch and just makes it look that much nicer. Some people prefer the brand new crispy black inserts. I take it case to case. Some watches I want brand new black, other watches I want faded. It just really depends. So then the next thing I want to do is put on a crystal on this watch. This is the original crystal for the 1665, which I think looks the best because it's got that great dome on it. The problem is that even if you buy a original Rolex replacement crystal, it doesn't have the same look. The only way to get the same exact look on the crystal is you need to buy an original replacement from back then, which could be very costly. There's also a couple brands that sell them like True Dome. They're very nice. True Dome has the correct look and it looks correct. And I just don't know if I want to pay $300 for an aftermarket crystal. I think I'd almost rather pay $600 for an original one from back then. But one of the only things I'm going to do to this watch is put the crystal because, you know, the plastic crystals, they scratch easily. And as you're going to see now in this B-roll, you're going to see a lot of like shadows on the dial. And that's because any little scratch that you can barely see with the naked eye, when the sun shines through this glass, it will leave a shadow on the dial. In other words, in person, the watch looks great, but when you see it through video, it looks like the goddamn crystal's destroyed. See, I had ordered one on eBay. Big mistake, because I went to put it on, it doesn't work. Guys, don't waste your money on these crystals on eBay. Buy it from the right people. So comment below what you think about the latest acquisition in my watch collection. And if you like this video, like and share it. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel.